Join me as we talk all things true crime.
Made contact and shattered.
The missing 4-year-old. The parents have called in and advised that the mother has went for a walk, came home, now they can't find her.
Chad, where are Lori's kids? They've been missing for 4 months. You have nothing to say?
4 were stabbed multiple times and were likely asleep during the attack. Some had defensive wounds.
Most of them had just like one that was the lethal stab wound.
Oh, what a tangled web we weave. Once I told a lie, and I told my family, I had to keep lying.
McSherman is a demon.
We haven't cleared anybody.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me? Sorry, just getting things adjusted still. Thanks for coming back for another ATS News live stream. It's good to see you, Delana. Merry Christmas. Hi, Adrian. Angel Eyes, good to see you. Johnny's here. I think I saw Debbie. Hey, guys. We are going to be digging into the Lauren Matthias hidden true crime situation, stalker situation. We are continuing our study in defamation as well. There's talk and rumors that there could be a defamation case put against Lauren Matthias from her alleged stalker. Again, we have dug into this situation very deeply, even before the body cam came out in this case, like as far as the one in June and then July, we've looked at those as well in past live streams. And it's crazy to actually watch this 9-hour stream of hers, knowing what we know now. Like at the time of the 9-hour live, she never mentioned like those body cam incidents. And it's just like very wild to see what was going on behind the scenes leading up to this whole 9-hour situation. I've fallen down this rabbit hole. Many of you guys have fallen down this rabbit hole. And again, I do have to say, I think I said in another stream that this video, the 9-hour stream, was like one of her most viewed ones. It's not. I didn't realize that I think they were all Lori Daybell case related, but she does have other ones. But my thing is, I don't normally feel the need to point out like the looks and stuff, but I saw these thumbnails and I was like, who is that? Like, she looks so different. Is it just me? Is it just me, guys? Like, I'm not going to click on her videos and play them, but like the recent ones, like it's just something I noticed. And we go back to previous images of her, and we talked about how she kind of reminded us of Lori Vallow, like not in these images, but certain times, like when she did that Mormon Stories podcast, like people said that they kind of got Lori Vallow vibes from her as well. So I figured like, oh, I guess I'm not the only one that was kind of feeling that way. And then she did a collab with Annie Elise from 10 to Life. And she almost looked like after that, she like tried to imitate Annie's style and hairstyle. I don't know. That was just our feelings. And then it came out that there was like plagiarism rumors between her scripts and Annie's scripts on some of the same cases. And so we were like, what? And then I saw her like most recent, and I'm telling you, like if the whole goal is to kind of rebrand yourself because of the horrible stuff that has come out, then like she might be nailing it, because she looks like a totally different person. And then I saw, and I'm sure you guys saw it too, that where is it? Court TV had her on in reference to some case. I haven't really dug into much of it, but yeah, they had her on, and I was like, I don't recognize her. Did you guys see this as well?
Hidden True Crime podcast and YouTube channel. Lauren, Matthias, great to have you both here. Lauren, I'll begin with you. As you listen to Micah Smith on the side of the road, there's a lot going on. What does it reveal to you about him and what's going on in his life?
I think looking from a crime perspective, I've been following this case. I think it gives us a motive. So if he is indeed putting his children in harm, which is what police have said and what his charges say, then
like, look at the way she's speaking here and like talking, right? And then hold on a minute. We're going to pull up the 9 hour, which was only filmed in October. So not even that much long ago, right? Hold on. And thank you for joining us, everyone. I see people are coming in. Hit the like button, subscribe, hype the video if you can do that as well on your mobile devices. It's a new feature, but it's a great free way to kind of support the channels. Hold on, what? Okay, now watch her here.
I am feeling very threatened. I block her. This relationship, unfortunately, sadly, is going to have to end.
I got to speed it up a little bit, but I don't
She
think
then
it'll.
sends me an aggressive email. And in it, she states, Lauren, this is April 21st. Lauren, I was going to text you this directly, but it looks like it didn't go through. So I'm guessing that you blocked me. Yes, I did. If that's the case, that's totally fine. Just be real about it. Hitting block after starting a fire doesn't make you a victim. It makes you a coward. On top of that, you're really out here playing the victim while casually coaching someone on how to trash a redacted creator on Reddit. Bold move, especially for someone who loves to preach about integrity every 5 minutes. But hey, maybe encouraging anonymous hit pieces is just part of your brand. I wouldn't know. I've been too busy minding my own business and not anonymously running smear campaigns in the comment section. She went on Reddit. Also, a fun twist. I now know that Reddit comment actually came from one of your own mods, and yet you still claimed it as your own when bragging to your old friends. So either you're lying to them or you're lying now. Take your pick. Do you prefer hypocrite or liar? Sincerely, Stalker. I have no idea what the hell she's talking about, but she has added some screenshots to this email. Can we look at those screenshots? Do we have the screenshots? We're trying to pull them. We'll see if we can pull them. In it are alleged screenshots. I'll just explain it while Grayson's looking. In them are screenshots from a message the stalker has added. Happens. We'll edit later. The stalker has added the reminder where we left off. And in the reminder where we left off, I don't know, she is stating, I've never rewritten history. I've acknowledged.
Okay. So that back to Court TV. And you're telling me that Vinnie Politan or Court TV producers, whoever, they don't know about all the drama surrounding Lauren? They have to know.
And we have a motive. He's saying, his wife's cheating on him. She left him with 3 kids really late one day. He's upset. Police are concerned that he might self-harm. All of these things going on. This is a guy that doesn't seem to be stable. He owns a business, yet at the same time doesn't have registration, doesn't have a license, doesn't have a license plate. It's very suspicious.
And as Dr. Jane Lacey, as Lauren mentioned, in the probable cause affidavit from the October 11th incident, investigators said on this date of what we just watched on October.
I mean, it's completely different. And like, it definitely backs up this whole, hey, Melanie, good to see you, coffee and skeletons. It backs up. Yes, they absolutely know. They know. Vinny's on YouTube. He has his own YouTube channel. The algorithm, even if you're not subscribed to channels, like if it's hashtag true crime and all that, like they know. So I'm like, are they that desperate for like views that they're like, let's add some controversy and have her on? Or is it because Court TV and Vinny were like some of the only people that weren't in. Remember in the last one that we found out, or was it in the body cam where they were like, we know that you talk trash about Nate Eaton and Ashley Banfield and like Gigi, like all these people from news stations. Like, so was Vinny like, I'll have her on because apparently she didn't talk trash about me. I don't know. It's like I just thought it was weird timing. Like they don't always have her on. Like, yes, she has been on in the past. You know, because she does get close to cases and we see how she gets close to certain cases and how the families of those cases feel afterwards. And they, quote, have said used and exploited. If I was Court TV, I wouldn't let Lauren on ever again. Only came here for the comments and they did not disappoint. Your world is unraveling, Lauren, at your own hands, you psychopath. Sad to see Lauren on. She abused the court system to get a restraining order for a woman who didn't stalk her. She also abused the court system by filing false copyright claims against people that didn't steal her content. She seems that she plagiarized another creator's work. 96 likes. 97, because everything in that comment was factual. Lauren's body cam footage showing she cares more about her brand and company rather than actually feeling scared for her safety, which she went on about for 9 hours. Yikes, this ain't a good look. 119 likes. Be careful, Vinny. Record every interaction you have with Lauren. 152 likes. She is unraveling and she is not in her right mind. That's the thing, is this whole change in look backs up kind of this whole unstable situation, in my opinion.
Fourth, the defendant expressed suicidal ideations to police. Now, we didn't necessarily hear all that in the body cam. Pieces of it were redacted. But what are you taking out of this conversation he's having with police? What does it reveal to you?
Well, Vinny, it reveals a lot, and I agree with Lauren. He's not stable. But when we listen to the body cam footage that you just showed, it shows
a little
a man
bit
that's
because
in
this
psychological freefall.
I haven't really followed this case, but from what I understand, it sounds horrific. His dad's a POS, from what I hear.
But I was at home. What do we know about the situation at home? Was he out of the home? Were they sharing custody? Was there anything official going on? Has that been revealed yet?
That is part of the mystery, but in all of the information that we've uncovered at Hidden True Crime, we do have a significant other of the wife, and there is a looming divorce. So there does certainly seem to be a separation that's happening, although we can't be quite clear what it was leading up to the hike, but that there were certainly issues in the marriage leading up and a separation and perhaps now a significant other. But, you know, where he was staying is a question. You wonder, is he staying, who he's staying with? Is he staying with the brother? Is he staying in the car? And he has this whole thing about not driving. I wasn't driving.
He did seem lose a little bit of credibility in my book because he kind of supported that Karen Reed hit John O'Keefe for their car. So when he was always kind of pushing the theory that the Commonwealth was pushing, even though, you know, there were doctors and the physics alone just kind of proved otherwise, and she was acquitted by 2 juries. Like, I was kind of like, Vinny, come on, what are you thinking? But I don't know what's going on with this whole look, but it almost seems like she wants to like rewrite and redo her whole image because of everything that's come out. And why is this is another thing, Dr. John and Grayson, the closest people to her, nobody's stopping her. And going back through one of those body cams, I believe it was the first one, as soon as she gets on, when the officer's in the living room with her, the June 19th one, as soon as the officer's in the living room with her, hold on, let me just change this image a little bit.
Driving the car. I wasn't driving the car. You can't do this because I wasn't driving.
She says to her husband, as soon as she gets on the phone with him, like trying to like rationalize what the next step should be. And she says, I don't know, like, is this like And it's the same thing we've all been saying. It was so funny that I didn't notice it the first time. She says, I don't know if this is like a Barbara Streisand situation. And he doesn't even listen to her, which we kind of noticed he does in live streams between them. And specifically the one where it was like, we respond or whatever. He doesn't really listen to her. Like, he likes to hear himself talk. So she says something about like not being sure of which direction to go. Like, should they call Gigi and find out if the text messages and stuff are going to be released, or should they just ignore it and hope that it goes away? So she said, but I'm not sure if this is Barbara Streisand situation. He talks over her and he says, well, all I know is everything that we have worked for is about to be over with in one foul swoop. Yeah, her mouth does it. The face is not moving the way it was in the 9-hour stream. And you guys know, obviously, there's cosmetic procedures that are the reason why. But my thing is it just seems like this whole year has been like a spiral from everything we've seen leading up to the 9-hour, the body cams that I don't think that they ever expected to come out. Like, it's like nobody around her is stopping her. So that was my whole point in bringing up that conversation with John, because she was the one at that moment who was sort of seeing the situation like in the right manner, because we've all compared this to the Barbara Streisand effect. And she wasn't listened to by Grayson or by John in that phone call. And John goes off about how everything's going to be over and done with in one foul swoop. And then Grayson goes on about, well, they might release them and there was another part where she was like, maybe they won't release them. And I personally don't think that I don't think they were going to get released. In fact, we haven't even seen the text messages. They have yet to be released because I think there's such worse stuff out there that we just don't know about. But it's just funny. Like, look at her. The face is just not. Why did you she doesn't have like the dimples or whatever on the side of her mouth, like in the crease in between her brows, just like a normal 45-year-old woman's aging face. She looks totally different. Like, when I saw her new thumbnails, it's to an effect where it's like, and the doctor, like in a professional way. Yeah. Her doctor husband didn't listen to her right when she suggested maybe this is like could turn into a Barbara Streisand effect. Grayson, of course, was just fanning the flames. It was almost like in that moment, looking at it, Lauren was the one who was kind of thinking in a correct manner. Like, okay, maybe if we put too much attention on it, like it'll be bigger than what we want. And nobody listened to her. And so now I see her changing her face the way that she's changing it. And I just feel almost the same situation where I'm like, she's not well on some level, in my opinion. That's my opinion. Of course, it's an unprofessional opinion. It's just my observations, what I see going on in the situation. And no one is like telling her like to stop. It's like, I really think, and we've all kind of been saying it, I've seen it on other channels as well, like the jokes about the call is coming from the inside. I think we all started to see this like weeks ago, where it was Grayson and John. They definitely, neither of them are somebody in the situation that's going to kind of level it, think with a level head and think, in the right direction. Yes, they encourage her. They don't listen to her either. And it's like, we kind of laughed about it because sometimes it is kind of funny that no one's like, especially when they talk serious cases and her husband just doesn't listen to her, like her opinion or whatever, when they're panel talking or interviewing people. But in the situation that I seen, it was unfortunate because Lauren in that moment had the level head and was thinking like, I think we might be making this a Barbara Streisand situation, and nobody listened and everyone just kind of fanned the flames. And all John was worried about was their reputation, which of course is of concern because they know that things are bad behind the scenes. But Grayson she's just the assistant, or you know what I mean? She just does the editing or whatever, or the filming. She was like, well, what if they do, we want to be ready, that type of talk. And it's like, we don't even know that they're going to release it. Even the cop said, he's like, well, what I have right now is very, loose. I don't have a crime. I don't have, and notice that Court TV did not put Lauren on full screen long. The whole time they had her side by side with Vinny and the other guest. And then when she did go full screen, they're like, ooh, put the put the image of the victims or the people in the case up. Because I think even they were like, what's going on here? And she kept looking over. It was kind of awkward looking. I don't know. Again, I'm just making observations of what I see. Delana, nothing wrong with that. The book she wrote tells almost the same type of personality disorder. She downplayed a little in the live with John, but he argued against her. Yeah, and she was very tight-lipped. I think before they hit record for that response video, John was like, you ladies let me handle this. Because Grayson didn't really insert herself much either. She did, but maybe she's crafty. I don't know. And I even had said in past streams, maybe it's grief from losing her brother, tried to kind of understand the situation. But think about it. Her husband's a doctor. How is nobody saying what we're doing? We should just not do what we should do the opposite of what we're planning to do, because everything that they've planned thus far has really backfired. But at the same time, she's still getting, good views, and people were like, oh, she lost 10,000 subs. Well, when you have 300,000, it's really not that much. It's not detrimental to her. I've heard of mania lasting over a year. Rare, but I guess it could happen. And her reasoning in the body cam doesn't support it anyways. Right. Right, exactly. It's all trying to control the narrative and her reputation and keep text messages from coming out. We have not seen Lauren as the victim thus far. But we were told she was a victim for 9 hours.
In an email after she calls me hypocrite or liar, that, and then she shares other photos, and these other photos, do we have those? We're trying to find them. We might. There's a lot of stuff going on, guys. So as we look for those, this is about the Ross Live. I said at the beginning of this month, PS, that I'm going to work to connect to all of you again. It's been a while since I've done a live. Here I am, real life. So as we try to look for those, what she sends me is an obscure, very obscure message. It's kind of blurry. It looks like it's been passed around from a group chat I'm in. And I'm responding to someone who made a comment in Reddit, and I say, how's it doing? And the reason, I'm just going to tell you guys now. Oh, here it is. Okay. So here it is. I say, how's it doing? And then the person replies my comment. I'm pretty sure it's the top one with a nervous emoji. So let me.
I do too. She's crafty.
Nothing to do with the trial I've covered. Someone in this group text was following a creator, a podcaster, on a trial that I did not cover and knew nothing about. And they were disappointed that this podcaster got facts wrong because they were attending the trial. And I wasn't actually a part, those group texts where you really don't go in a lot. This was one of those happening. I wasn't even in the majority of this conversation. I didn't know what was going on. When I popped in, I saw all these things, and I saw that this person had actually fact-checked that person, that creator, and posted about it under her actual real name, not even anonymously, some things that this creator got wrong in a podcast. And this person quite liked the podcaster. So they were actually stressed about putting this up there and seemed worried about it. They said, the comment is there. I don't know how it's going to do. They're just kind of looking for feedback in a group message. Wasn't a part of this conversation at all. And I pop in, I see that she is nervous. And I wrote, How's it doing? And if you note, her response ends with a worried face emoji when she says, it's the top one. She doesn't know if that's good. That comment is still there, by the way, on Reddit. And it's absolutely harmless. It is somebody correcting facts about a trial they were following.
And how does any of that rant have anything to do with you being stalked and a victim? Okay, so look at that. I'm sorry, I just can't get over. The change. Whoa. Let's revisit this with everything that we know now.
I guess I'm just jealous that after I confronted her about all of her lies, she immediately retreated back to her Airbnb where she had her brother fire off a bunch of cease and desist. I did not get one. Now, here's the kicker. Her brother is a licensed attorney in the state of Utah, sending out cease and desist letters with threats to people outside the state of Utah. That is a major ethical violation and potentially disbarment worthy. Even worse, the letters weren't based on anything those recipients actually did. Shockingly, they were all things our ex-friend had done. We have the receipts. To top it all off, her brother's law firm was hit recently with a scandal involving a man who is a felon filing legal filings under another man's license number. This law firm also hires our ex-friend's father, whose license was removed. He was completely disbarred in the state of Utah. That's a whole different story for a whole different day. But needless to say, all this stuff is insane. It's not just personal manipulation, but it's professional misconduct. I guess I'm just jealous that after I confronted her about all.
And another thing that I noticed too about those TikToks is now that we have the body cam from June 19th and July 23rd, a lot of those TikToks were posted after that. So it's like I kind of understand even more. Like, I always kind of knew falling outs with friends can get ugly, like breakups. But now I'm like seeing it even bigger, knowing what kind of web they were sewing behind the scenes, her and Grayson and John.
I know none of the facts of this case, nor did I follow this podcaster on this case. I don't even know. I have known nothing about it. But I want you to know that this text has gone around for months with people telling me that I am doing smear campaigns on this podcaster. Top media people believe that I have smeared this creator on Reddit, that I tried to hurt her business. This has gone far and wide because of that. I have no idea what that is about. And I have told several people that it's not true. And there's no evidence that I have ever tried to hurt this person's business. In fact, I have actually promoted this person's business repeatedly, sourced them, encouraged followers, collabed with them, and tried to help their business. But there is, and if anybody has heard this, a rumor that I have created fake accounts and tried to hurt my fellow creator or any creator. I will tell you right now, that is false, completely false. Because even in my stalker's response to me, when I filed a civil stalking injunction, she claims that she has seen evidence of me hurting other people's businesses, yet cannot show a single moment where I actually have. Because I don't. Really.
I don't know if I believe that. I don't know if I believe that she wouldn't have fake accounts and making comments in other social media platforms to hurt other big podcasters. She seems, from everything we know, she's very cutthroat and she's very competitive. And I feel like from what I've seen, I would believe that she would do that, but I wish that we had more proof to back that up. And if Christina has that proof and she's not sharing it, maybe it's something she's adding to the pile for her own civil suit against Lauren. Now, this is the whole thing is like, that's what we've been wondering. Is there going to be defamation case against Lauren, seeing how, there's over 400,000 views on that video where she's calling her a stalker over 400 times. Lauren cannot delete that video because the second she deletes it, she's admitting that she did wrong by posting it. So it stays up. But no, I'm not sure Christina's, professional life or her stuff that she does. If anything like this has been hurting her professionally and financially, like that would be another thing that would be included in the defamation lawsuit. But I don't know if there's even been enough time to kind of show since October when that was posted she's suffered or this or that. I don't know, but I'm curious.
Oh my gosh. Let me show you something. My ex-friend. Two-faced. Oh my gosh. Let me show you something. My ex-friend. Two-faced.
So when we first saw these TikToks, right? Like when the 9 Hour came out, it was like, oh, these girls are so, high school. But now knowing about the body cams and everything else, it's kind of like, we kind of do see everything that Kay Woodcock said, everything that Kresha has expressed, even Colby Ryan. They've expressed the way that they feel in their own ways about her and their relationships with her. And it seems like that TikTok of her being two-faced is 100% true. I don't know how you guys feel, but I do think that there was some truth to that, even though it was, you could call it petty or whatever.
Really quickly, do we have my response to her? I never read my response. Oh. So oh, okay, this is my response on the screen. Got it. So I wrote, are we good? Are we safe? Okay. I wrote this person back, the stopper back. And I say, I blocked you because I'm tired of being harassed and threatened by others who are misinformed and illegally sharing and taking private chats out of context. The only coward in this conversation is the one who is unable to acknowledge any wrongdoing whatsoever. So who is starting fires? And then I share, again, who is starting fires? Her Reddit comment. That's now been deleted from Reddit, by the way. When someone tells me to stop engaging, my response is to stop. But here you continue harassing me in emails, even though I've blocked you. You've obviously are misinformed about this podcaster. I never wrote an anonymous hit piece about this podcaster. That was written quite openly by the person who wrote it. Yes, a moderator and someone who attended that trial of this case daily. She was correcting some factual errors that this podcaster had made regarding a case that I never covered. It was never a hit piece, and it doesn't hide her identity. Nor did I ever anonymously write the factual correction from court. That was somebody else. I asked how the comment was doing, which was supporting my friend, nothing more or less. I'm not sure how that has anything to do with smearing someone. Journalists typically adhere to factual analysis, unlike your...
Again, I get it. You're trying to clear up some rumor, but what does this have anything to do with your thumbnail, which says, oh, no, the title, I'm sorry. I can't stay silent anymore. I'm being stalked and bullied, and I fear for my safety. What does this have to do with you being threatened or stalked? It sounds like you're being accused of something, and you're spending, how long we've been going on with this one subject? And the thing is, people watched this and her supporters were like, oh, did you see that? What she said about Reddit, etc.
Correspondence, which is creating a false and defamatory narrative about me based upon your distortion of the facts and the misattribution of a post that I never wrote. But why let facts get in the way of your far-fetched and false narratives about me?
Hi, Roxanne.
Stop engaging, but I guess you had to have the last two words because apparently you have no flaws and have never made a mistake. So I will ask, please do not contact me. The fact that you continue to contact me after I blocked you leads me to question my safety. Are you going to show up my home next since you know where I live and berate me until you believe your false narratives about me are proven to your confused satisfaction? I'm also asking you to stop posting lies and false information about me.
I want to know your guys' opinions. If you were in fear of somebody showing up at your house and knowing where you lived, like, why would you almost give them the idea to do that? Are you going to show up at my house since you know where I live? Like, how did we jump to that level? How did we go from like debunking rumors on Reddit and stuff to you being afraid that she's going to show up because she knows where you live?
Publicly, which negatively impacts my business. If you continue to harass me, I will be forced to take legal action. Okay. And I know that that was strong. I know it was. But at this point, I am shocked. I realize.
I know that was strong. Yeah. And you said the same thing in your July body cam when the cop was approaching, like, I feel silly for doing this. And then you pawned it off on Grayson, but she thinks they're going to get physical. And you made that police report. And the police said what the first cop said. There's no crime here, but we'll make an incident report for you. But she never once, so far, how we're almost like 2 hours into the 9-hour. She has not once mentioned either of those body cam situations because they didn't go in her way. And they painted the whole picture that you set up these situations for those incident reports so that it would be easier for you to file the TPO on Christina the day before you guys all went to CrimeCon, even though you said you weren't going to go to CrimeCon. Then you decided to go, even though you knew your stalker was there, and you kept your stalker on your Patreon because she was a paid member. Like, none of that was ever explained or shown as transparency in this 9-hour.
As she's recorded me in a courthouse. I realize that she is defaming me online. She just called me a hypocrite and a liar. And she is.
And yes, I agree with this. Blue Jay says exactly, this whole live wasn't about being stalked. It was about getting in front of all the things that she did herself that was going to come out. She thought it was damage control and it backfired. Her first initial reaction in June, so this was filmed in October, in June, she said in that phone call to John, I don't know if this is just a Barbara Streisand effect. He ignored her, and then look what it turned into months later. She should have just followed her own gut. Instead, her PhD husband and her 24-year-old assistant are giving her advice, and she's listening to them, unfortunately.
Taking a
But then again, she's on court TV, so she must be doing pretty well still.
text with me asking, how's it doing? Completely out of context. And now is stating that I am hurting other people's businesses. So now I'm plagiarizing people and I am hurting other people's businesses, two things of which I have never done.
Oh dear. Now here's the other thing. She just said that she's never ever plagiarized. And I guess if Grayson's writing the scripts for her videos and they compared Grayson's scripts that she wrote for the other YouTuber, 10 to Life, and the scripts that she wrote for Lauren, I guess technically it's not Lauren plagiarizing, it's Grayson. If Lauren could play dumb and act like she had no idea or she never watched Annie's coverage of it, that's all debatable. But here's another thing. And look at her tight lips. Now, we've been following true crime for a long time. When we watch people's suspects interviews, whether it's in the media like Chris Watts or whether it's body cam like Stephen Sturms, and we see them and they tell a lie because we end up finding out through the case research and through trial and whatever that what they had said was a lie. They always do this like tight-lipped facial expression. It's not body language expertise, but it is a trend that we see from time and time again. It means they're like holding back the truth a lot of times. So just very interesting. I know. It does it itself, right? But then we screenshot the one of her on court TV, and it doesn't even look like her here. Hold on. Okay, look at this. Even like the makeup as far as her complexion, doesn't it look so different? I'm still stunned. I'm sorry. I'm still stunned. Hold on, these comments too on this. We were reading some of them. Lauren's body cam footage showing she cares more about her brand and company rather than feeling scared for her safety. Okay, we read that. Be careful, Vinny. Oh my gosh, be careful, Vinny. Lauren is a snake. Get on today, tomorrow. She will accuse you of trying to kill her. Oh dear. Liar Matthias. Wow, so disappointing to see Lauren Matthias here, who uses a law to intimidate people, files frivolous lawsuits, and hates the First Amendment. Not to mention, talks badly about victims of terrible crimes whilst publicly representing the opposite to the public. This is embarrassing for you. I don't know who is in charge of the panel guests, but I assume they don't screen well. And that's the whole thing that we were saying earlier in the stream. How they knew. They know this drama going on. It's all over X too. It's not even just YouTube. Lauren Matthias is a disgrace to the true crime community in the field of journalism. To see her on this show is shocking. Can you do a show on Lauren? What is this comment? Can you do a show on Lauren's 9-hour live? John's rebuttal and then all those body cams with the conflicting stories in her court case against Christina? How can Lauren say Micah is unstable? Have you seen her rocking in bed and wiping snot on the comforter? And John's discussion of her rocking in bed, discussing self-harm. Micah obviously needed help. And that's the person in the case that they're discussing, obviously. You are missing the boat on Lauren. Oh my gosh. Vinny didn't pick Lauren randomly. You don't host a 9-hour hike session without someone who's already mastered the 9-hour live. So that case is about the father who I guess like made his children do some like dangerous hike. He got charged or whatever. Oh my gosh, that is hilarious. These comments are gold. Lauren Matthias is a liar. Hey, her John and Grayson tried to have an innocent woman thrown in jail and did have her banned from CrimeCon. Yeah. John literally said he in his letter to the judge that he wanted the consequences to be Christina, a mother of 4, to be thrown in jail for this type of stuff. Hold on.
Of course you hate her. She's the keeper of the screenshots, the receipts, the inconvenient truths that would burn your false kingdom to the fucking ground. Of course you hate her. She's the keeper of the screenshots, the receipts, the inconvenient.
I hope so, Mabel. Can you imagine? That's the thing, is part of if it goes to that level from what we've discussed thus far, because this is part 4, she needs to prove that this has had an effect on her financially too. And I don't know her like other people have looked into this situation, so I don't know like her profession. I know she's an artist. Lauren, you should stay away from Botox and whatever you do to that face. Why is her husband not saying, honey, you need some help? We've seen examples and we've already looked through of like Lauren and Grayson looking like they were kind of using too much alcohol in some of their quote unquote evidence videos where it was like, you guys are just drunk. Even in that body cam July 23rd, when she's on the phone with the officer and in person, like she kind of does slur a little bit, in my opinion, very slightly. And I think that that whole call to the cops in July was liquid courage. But nobody around her is saying like, whoa, you need some help. This guy tried to kill those kids, plain and simple. Also, don't have Lauren on. She's a liar. You need honest people as guests. She's whacked. So far, Oh my gosh, look at this. We will be getting to a little bit of the Depp trial too near the end of the stream. Special guest, Amber Heard Matthias. Oh my gosh, 130 likes. 131. Seriously, you have to know Lauren's been what Lauren's been up to behind the scenes. I'm going to assume you're birds of a feather. Bye. So they just associated Court TV and Vinnie Politan with stuff that Lauren Matthias does to victims' families and plagiarism and abusing the courts. Everything that we've discovered of Lauren, like lying, etc., they just lumped Vinnie Politan and Court TV into being birds of a feather. 71 likes. And I just don't know if like they know none of these comments are even about the case they discussed. All these comments have to do with Lauren. Have you noticed that? A uniformed police officer literally said that what Lauren Matthias did to the Woodcocks, Kresha, and Colby makes everyone in true crime look bad. And now she is on your show? The thinking emoji. Does Vinny read these comments? I sure hope he does. The people are speaking about a certain creator, Vinny. You might want to take a look. The way she talks down about law and crime, I would be extremely careful, Court TV, with the guests you choose. Well, maybe that's why they chose her, because law and crime is their number one competitor. They're like, oh, she's talking badly about law and crime. Like, well, she's our friend. Wow, didn't expect that from Court TV. Shocking. Oh my gosh. He is unhinged. He was just going to leave them there to freeze. I'm in shock. So that's in reference to the case, obviously. Lauren should not be speaking on this, and she is unhinged and delusional herself. She shouldn't be a guest speaker on any channel. She needs to be honest, address her own behavior, and sort herself out before speaking on anyone else's mental state. Lauren, 9-hour live Matthias. Boo. Let's take a little break from those comments. We will get back to those. Wow. Will Court TV have her on again? Maybe they just want the views because of the controversy.
So I'm very concerned, and she's reached out via email. I don't know what's going on at this moment. So, all right. Where was I? Thank you. Thank you. So on April 15th, I was confronted by a friend. And by the way, at this point, these women that I mentioned at the beginning, they've all become very close. They actually have a text thread together called the Seven Gatherers. It's named after, Melanie and Zulema and Lori Vallow, who had the same text thread. They call themselves the Seven Gatherers. Very happy for their friendship. They're posting pictures of each other at the courthouse. I'm happy that they all get along. But as you know, I think one of them is a bit of a bully, and I had shared this with my stalker as well. So on April 15th, 2025, I was confronted.
Isn't it rich hearing her call somebody else a bully?
By a friend of the stalker named Janice at the same courthouse. This incident is on film, and before we play it, I want to share a little bit more. She had, I had mentioned that she had often filmed Kay and Larry and others outside the courthouse, and it's fair. You can record people in public. It's fair game. It's uncomfortable, and I think there comes a point where it can be considered harassment, when someone is filming you all the time. And what I had been noticing is that, and Grayson had been noticing, because Grayson was with me at this trial, and she was my producer at this time, that she filmed me and Grayson everywhere we went. And it was uncomfortable. So thank you, Kelsey Benson Rising, she filmed Colby too.
Yes,
She filmed
Blue Jay. I noticed that too.
And Kay and Larry. And so I was walking into court late, and I was on the phone with my husband, John, the only time I can catch up with him. And as I walked up to the courthouse, I noticed that Janice was out there, standing there with no apparent reason to be standing there. And I thought, oh no, my heart sunk. What if she's waiting for me? And so for safety, which I had started to do, because she's good friends with my stalker. In fact, when I saw my stalker and she had confronted me in the courthouse, she'd actually been with Janice. They had been together. And it made me nervous. So I said, John, I've got to go. Someone's here outside the courthouse and I'm scared. I'm getting worried about everything. And he knew everything going on.
If you're on the phone with your husband or significant other, and all of a sudden you're feeling nervous and scared for your safety, because that's what this is painting. When really, in my opinion, looking at this with everything we know, you're getting anxiety. You're probably getting that sick feeling in your stomach because people that you have had a falling out with are buddying up because they feel probably like they've survived something by being associated with you or friends with you. And that's why you're uncomfortable. But why would you get off the phone? Like, if I'm afraid, I'm staying on the phone with my husband and just staying on the phone. So like even he could hear everything going on or whatever. So instead she's like, I gotta go, John. Like, and now she's painted that she was afraid. I don't know. It's just kind of weird. Like, you were afraid in the moment, so then you got off the phone from your husband instead of just staying on.
I'm going to just put my phone camera on just in case, because I'm just worried. And that is why my phone.
That's not why you recorded this situation. You didn't get off the phone with your husband so that you could record it so that, you would feel safer. You recorded it and you were approaching her in the video and you're saying, I feel threatened. I feel threatened. Is that the same video we're talking about? I want to make sure I'm on the same page. It's like you were the one that was approaching her and you just wanted to have footage of you saying, I feel threatened towards that person to use it in the future against them as part of this whole calculated manipulation. Yeah, because she had to set up the recording is why she got off the phone. And it was to set up a whole picture that she's painting, not because she wanted to make sure for liability reasons like that she caught it on camera. She's trying to paint a picture so that she can go to CrimeCon and corner and bombard Christina and kind of use all this stuff to kind of accumulate. And she kept calling it in that one body cam, things are escalating, they're escalating, when really it was her that was escalating everything. Yeah, Lauren wanted to film reactions from these women. She was going to do a documentary about being stalked, just my opinion. She said herself that, like, in case she needed a bullying one documentary, that she had all this stuff, material or whatever. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, I think it was all to kind of use as like I can just picture her on the phone with John being like, I'm gonna get a video and I'm gonna make sure that I document that I'm feeling threatened in it. That's what that was. So then it was easier, which it's very easy. We've already gone through it. It's very loose to get a temporary protection order on somebody, which is what she did to Christina.
Camera was on. It was just in case. And I was walking into the courthouse. That was my goal. The doors were right there. And unfortunately I got scared and I stopped, but play the first video I have.
Are you recording me? Please do. Please.
So that was the first one. Unfortunately, in my nervousness, it ended. I want you to know too that Janice later wrote a declaration. And in her declaration to the court, she actually stated that I approached her.
Please do not talk to me.
Really
I feel threatened.
Well, I need to talk to you about the stuff.
But really, you were approaching her. And look at that woman. Does she come off as a threatening? She's wearing ballet flats. She's a petite little blonde girl in a skirt in the footsteps of a courthouse. You're walking up towards it. If you were feeling threatened, I mean, I'd be turning the other way like, oh my gosh, there she is. I'm scared. Gotta go, honey. They're chasing me. I want to get this on camera. But it wasn't that. It wasn't that. And notice she doesn't go through Janessa's paper that she wrote to the court, does she? She just mentions it.
Please do not talk to me. I feel threatened.
Okay, I feel threatened by the things you're saying about me.
So then let's stay away from each other. I think that you're a bully. Please stay away. I feel threatened.
Oh, really, Lauren?
She's like, how was that? Was that good acting? But that's the thing. If I feel threatened, you're a bully. It's like just because you document it on video doesn't make it true. But it is enough from what we've seen to get the temporary protection order. It was not enough to get the permanent protection order.
Okay. So after this moment and this recording, after this happening so often, I took this recording to the bailiff and I said, could you request this person just to stay away from me?
And remember how competitive, we all know this, it is, and it's difficult. Even really like veteran journalists sometimes cannot get a seat in some of these courtrooms. Like they're just not large. They only have limited seat for the press and for the public. So isn't it convenient that she records that video and then she shows it to the bailiff and she's able to kind of like use the system and her evidence with the authoritative figure in the courtroom, the bailiff, and to say like, look at this, you know, I feel threatened. And can you make sure that she just stays away from me? And it like kicks them out. And then therefore she's got her seat. Is this the same courthouse where she approached somebody that she had a cease and desist on and asked if she could sit next to her? Like that's where it's like this woman is so tone deaf, like and not very good business skills to not realize like if you're going to send out cease and desist on people that you're going to end up seeing at these trials and stuff, like it's going to be awkward. And when they call you out on asking to sit next to somebody that you made drama with and put a cease and desist on, like that's what happens.
Records me all the time. She records my producer all the time. She is friends with someone that is harassing me in emails and accusing me of things I didn't do. And we just need to attend this public trial in peace.
And if you're the bailiff and you're being approached by this woman and she's like, you look at this, I feel threatened. Like, I'm sure he was just like, oh my gosh, lady, like, I'm just trying to get through my hours here. Like, I got other things to worry about than your drama. But I'm sure he appeased her because he's just like, okay, you know, she's showing me this evidence and she's telling me she feels threatened. So that's what he did. He made sure that they stayed away from her. She sees how easy that is. And she's like, oh, perfect. I'll just like, it's like a practice run. The body cam in the end of June, the body cam in July, this situation in court, which I think was like before the body cams with the bailiff, like it's all been a practice run for her whole like TPO thing and manipulating those authorities and getting a hold of Billy Joe, that detective, the homicide detective in Colorado, and spinning her webs to her and pulling her strings with that authoritative figure that she made connections with. It's a whole scheme.
I can be around people that don't like me. I get it. Not everyone likes me. And you know, I can be really annoying too. I'm probably really annoying in this life. Could you have her stay away? The bailiff saw the videos. They saw what was going on. They spoke to Janice and they requested her to stay away from me because of the way she approached me. And they also said, look, maybe don't film her all the time. She also admitted in her declaration, by the way, to the court that she does record a lot of people. She tried to show that it wasn't what, you know, we thought and she wasn't as close, but yes, that's her thing. So then I tell her I'm feeling threatened.
And she's got to make sure that we remember that. So then, you know, to recap, I told her I'm feeling threatened. Okay. Janessa, good to see you. Ballet Flats. The body cam in June. John and Grayson say I physically threatened Lauren outside the courthouse. Right, right. And along the way, they kept spewing that same thing because they said, or Billy Joe said in her emails to her colleagues to kind of like warn them about like, we have a speaker at CrimeCon who's coming and she's been threatened. You know, it's like the same thing that she's going to repeat to people. It's so transparent and clear to see. Oh my gosh. You guys are too funny in chat. Allegedly, maybe. Good to see you. She said, hi, babes. I'm lurking with this tune down because I'm busy doing other things and I'm sick of her voice right now. I get it. Like, we take breaks. In fact, we'll go to the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial near the end because it's too much. Just wanting to know I'm here supporting. I appreciate that so much. Just hit the like if you guys haven't subscribed. Yeah, your yoga instructor is more threatening. I know. It's so laughable. I hope Bobby with an eye looks into Lauren hardcore after what she's pulled into. Does anyone remember? You just reminded me, Jessica, of which Turtle Boy live is it where he called Billy or Bobby Joe? Does anyone know the title of the live stream where he did that? Because that was hilarious and I wanted to see that again.
Okay. Janice was told by the bailiff that she needs to leave me alone and stay away from me.
I'm curious, Janessa, what was the vibe from the bailiff? Like, was he like on board with Lauren 100% and like caught up in the manipulation like the first officer in June 19th? Or was he kind of like seeing her BS but being kind like the officer in the July 23rd situation?
Fast forward to, hold on, I've got some notes here. Okay. So then on June 19th.
Oh, it was that one? Okay, thank you, Jessica.
I received word that things were going to go public and that people wanted my head on a platter. And that is a quote. There are a lot of people that are really pissed off and they want my head on a platter. And
is that true?
Here he is. Here he is.
Blue Jay in chat says, apparently there's an internal affairs investigation into Bobby the detective. Is that true? I don't want to state it as fact, but if that's true, that's interesting. Does anyone else notice sometimes her voice sounds like the Swedish chef from the Muppets? I'll have to Google that to kind of refresh it because that sounds hilarious.
Here it is. This is a creator that Grayson called, and this is verbatim from them on June 19th. The only thing that I can tell you is there are so many people right now that are pissed off.
So here's the thing. It says that this was a call from this creator to Grayson, and this is verbatim. So you guys recorded this? I'm confused because it's direct quotes. Did you write this down? Like, did you record somebody without them knowing? Like, I'm just very confused how they have these quotes and stuff directly. Just curious. They got like a court reporter right there next to him writing this.
That are calling for her head on a platter. It's pretty much the message I can get. That's pretty much all I know. It's just been a lot of mean things. And just in the first time text or a text from someone I don't know too regularly, and it's like, oh my God. I just think from the messages I've seen, I would prepare for something publicly at this point.
Right.
I don't know how or when. I just tell people.
That's what I'm curious about. She said this proves they recorded Gigi. Did they? In my opinion, it seems they recorded Gigi. I think they recorded. I'm late to the game if this has already been spoken about. I want to know if Bobby Joe really was told by Lauren that she had been threatened and that she was speaking at CrimeCon, or did Bobby Joe just use her authoritative title and poll to say what she said? Like about like, oh, make sure that, that Christina isn't friendly with law enforcement or whatever. They said that Lauren was friendly, which makes it seem like Christina's not friendly. They called Christina the aggressor or whatever. I'm just curious, like, was Bobby Joe bamboozled too? Or was she just like, yeah, I'll help you guys do your dirty work. I don't care. I can do what I want. I want to know, especially because it's Colorado and I already have my opinions about Colorado and some corruption we've seen. I talked to the bailiffs on April 15th. They were very confused. They were laughing at her claims when I left the room and then joked about it every day. Don't be a bully. Oh my goodness. That's funny. And thank you for sharing.
I don't want to know what's happening. So that way I can truly say I have no clue. There are a lot of people that are really, 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 really pissed off right now. And that's really all I know. People are mad. I would say brace yourself based on a few things that I have heard here and there. Some things in the
I swear, as she was reading this just now, it almost sounded like she was adding Gigi's Southern accent slightly. Because if we're talking about her recording Gigi and this kind of being proof that she recorded Gigi, did they listen to this over and over? They must have, because they typed it out and it's in quotes. When she just read that few sentences, she sounded almost like she was doing a Southern accent. Like, that was weird. Lauren told the officer 3 times. They recorded the call with Gigi, and when the cop questioned Grayson about recorded it, she denied it. I missed that. That's the thing about watching some of this stuff more than once. They flat out said they recorded. Hi, Michelle. They recorded Gigi. Then, as soon as the cop asked Grayson if she had Gigi's permission, she then lied to the cop and said she did not record her after LM just said they had. Oops. And what does that tell you? Lauren was the honest one out of the two, and Grayson was willing to lie to the authorities. So when we're all talking about who's been giving Lauren this advice, it's obviously terrible advice. We've seen her husband, John, not listen to her and give her bad advice. But that also backs up, like, who is capable of, lying straight to the cop after Lauren had told him, like, that they had. That's crazy. That's your assistant. But I guess that would be your assistant because she's willing to lie to authorities for you. Interesting.
The works. A couple of messages I got were, keep an eye on your notifications because we're going to blow this shit up. I don't want to say it's over. It's kind of just getting ramped up. And that's reading the text messages I've gotten. Brace yourself. Something's going to go big. Something's going to go viral. I'm not touching it. I'm not getting my hands dirty. End quote.
And the way that she just read that too, I'm not touching it. I'm not getting my hands dirty. She makes it sound so like evil when we know that that's not how Gigi is. And like the way you read something and say something matters. And it's almost like she's like saying like, can you believe this? And it's like, yeah, she's just telling you to brace yourself because your own words and actions are about to blow up in your face. And she doesn't want to be the one to release it. And she even told the cop, like, I'm not going to be the one to release it. I've sat on this information for months. I'm not doing that. I don't care to. Lauren lied to the Boise officer multiple times that I was kicked out of the courtroom. And that just goes to the same statement that she said over and over in Boise. It's escalating. They're escalating. It's escalating. You guys were the ones escalating it to the point where you're now lying to this officer, the Boise one, multiple times to spin your narrative. So I 100% believe there's probably evidence of Lauren emailing or texting Bobby Joe saying that she was threatened. Again, we don't have 100% confirmation, but the fact that Bobby Joe told her colleagues that, and that we have seen other lies that they've willingly told other officers. Gigi was in the ICU with her grandma and told Grayson she didn't want to talk to her, but Grayson kept pressing her. Yeah, she kind of made that known. And then the officer was like, her grandmother's dying right now, so she's not really trying to get involved in this drama. And they were like, yeah, right. And then Grayson was like, but did she seem like she was gonna release stuff or knew that it was gonna get released? It's like, shut up. Did you not just hear? Like, she doesn't want to deal with that right now. Her grandmother is passing away, literally. And you still wanted to know, like, did you get the vibe that they were going to release things, though? Disgusting.
So what did I do? That was absolutely devastatingly frightening to me. I had no idea what that meant. And so I decided to call the police, because at that point, I am fearful for my safety with such a vague threat. And the police, we're going to get to this later. Stick with me. Well, yeah, we're going to get to this later, but the police called my stalker and she recorded that phone call, but let's not play that yet.
Determined that was a lie.
So isn't it interesting that she brings up the calling the cops? So they're referring to June 19th. And then we have the conversation that we already listened to of Christina and that cop. But notice how she like wants to pivot. She doesn't want to say like, but that cop told us that there was no crime. Here's the opportunity for her to either tell the truth to the audience or even reflect on what the cop had said at the time. And she doesn't. We'll get to that. Because you don't want us to hear that the cop said that this was just you being called out. The first thing Lauren tells the officer, Gigi might not consider me a friend because most of our messages were about her. Gross. And that's a 40, like this type of stuff, like talking behind people's back and realizing that it could get back to them. And then you're like there with, your pants down once you're confronted. Like that's the type of stuff I learned in like fifth and sixth grade, like those types of social skills, I can't believe that's Grayson 24 and Lauren 45 having those lessons now and still not knowing the right way to handle it. Let's switch it up a minute. Let's get to part 1 just to reflect. Remember this?
Suspicions for months, but it took me way too long to realize. I had suspicions for months, but it took me way too long to realize that almost everything this ex-friend told me was a lie. She had friends who ended their friendship with her 2 months into the start of my friendship with her. Afterwards, she would casually say things like, man, if my text messages between them were ever released, that would be bad. But you know how we all view things through our own lens.
And that backs up exactly what she said about Gigi. She probably won't consider me a friend anymore because most of our text messages were about her. And then here's Christina's TikTok basically saying the same thing. Like, oh, if people knew the stuff I said in my messages, it would be bad. Not verbatim, but something along those lines. It's like nothing Christina has shown on her TikTok thus far has been a lie. There was that two-faced one we played earlier. That turned out to be true. And, oh, that's so sad. That makes me sad. And then this one turns out to be true as well.
I brushed it off. I'd laugh.
Hence why Lauren was freaking out, because she was basically airing her truth, but in her own way. Like she didn't come out and say, Lauren, Matthias, but here's the caveat. In what we've discovered so far in our defamation studies, with Johnny Depp, and then now we've kind of taken up the Ryan Upchurch lawsuit. You have to also prove that, like, even if you don't refer to the person directly, like say their name, if it's kind of inferred that it is about that person, like you can be held responsible for it. But in my opinion, until Lauren made it known that all these were about her, I don't think that any of these you would watch and be like, that's about Lauren Matthias from Hidden True Crime. So if this did go towards court and all that, like there would be a conversation, I feel, where it would be argued that it was clear that these were about Lauren, because that's what Lauren claimed too. And Christina would obviously argue that like none of these directly stated that it was supposed to be about her or whatever. People didn't come to the conclusion that it was about her initially until the 9-hour live.
Say, oh girl, I'm sure you have nothing to worry about. Because honestly, if my texts ever got released, they'd just expose how terrible I am at even reading or replying to texts. But here's the thing. What was she actually worried about? That involved other people. And until they're ready to share their side, I'm going to leave that part alone for now. Just know it was really bad. It was freaking bad. It was bad. That was my final straw. The red flags had been stacking up for months, but this confirmed everything. I knew I didn't want that energy or that type of friend in my life. So I decided next time I saw her in person, I'd confront her. And when that moment finally came, what happened next? I've truly never experienced anything like it. I had suspicions for months, but it took me way too long to realize.
Now remember, we've already heard Lauren, I don't know, maybe in the last stream or the stream before, talk about this confrontation, which was just Christina. The way Lauren made it seem was like very aggressive.
Said, I now know why you were so worried about the text messages between you and your ex-friends. They are way worse than anything I could have ever imagined. I was rooting for you and you were talking about me. Now, I thought she'd be so shocked that I read the.
And remember when Lauren talks about this situation in her 9 hours, she says, she came up to me and she said, I know what you said about me. And Lauren goes, you know, she knew that I called her annoying. It's like, no, that's not what Christina's saying that whole interaction was about. It was about your text messages being terrible, not about you calling her annoying. It's just so crazy the way that she has like spun it. And now that we see all the body cams and everything that we've been able to see, it's like
to determine that was a lie.
Horrible, awful, manipulative, crazy things that she did, it would be a mic drop moment and we wouldn't have to talk about it. She would go on her way, I'd go on my way, the end.
I'm sure Lauren did approach her and give her a hug because she's hoping like maybe if I'm nice to her, she won't tell everybody. Like she'll do anything, any method. She'll be cutthroat, but she'll also, you know, try like, well, maybe I'll kill her with kindness and she won't, you know, expose me. And yet nobody ever did really expose her until she exposed herself. Because even the cop on June 19th said, he's like, all I have is, you know, you feeling like they're going to release things and expose things, but it hasn't happened yet.
No, I underestimated her. She wanted to talk about it. She wanted to have it.
Oh, I forgot that this Green Day song is copyright. Let me mute this and read it. She wanted to have a chat. I was a little bummed that my narrative and her story wasn't creative like some other things she came up with out of thin air, but she wanted to talk about it, and that's a story for another day. Well, we know that whole interaction wasn't just about you calling her annoying, Lauren. Let's go back to those court TV comments real quick before we get back to the 9 hour. Vinny, seriously? Lauren Matthias, queen of hidden scams and lies and deception on this program, along with this unsuspecting, respectable, legitimate psychologist? How could you guys do that to this doctor? Lauren Matthias is morally corrupt. Having her on here is disturbing, to say the least. This is commenting to the psychologist that was on. Dr. Janie Lacey, the guest on the show with the egregious Lauren Matthias. How could Court TV and Vinnie Politan put this reputable psychotherapist on with the likes of Lauren Matthias? Dr. Lacey, please look on YouTube for what's going on with Lauren, her unprofessional husband, and their channel. Also read these comments in deep disgust for her unethical, wretched actions. Lauren tried to manipulate and abuse the legal system with her unhinged abuse of power, if you will. Lauren tried to trick the courts and on-duty police officers to have a person arrested for sharing her text messages. The judge saw through her temporary restraining order and called her out for trying to weaponize the legal system in attempt to silence someone. There is so much more. To have the esteemed, trustworthy, credible Dr. Janie Lacey on with the likes of Lauren Matthias is deplorable. 80 likes on that. Do your due diligence on your guests, please. Lauren, yikes. She is untrustworthy. She misrepresents facts and uses illegal lawfare to silence innocent individuals. What she has done to Kay Woodcock and her family is disgraceful. And trust me, there's much more than just what we know, because they would not be scrambling so bad if it was just what we knew so far. Because some of Kay Woodcock's disgust didn't really come until the 9 hour and like what was revealed afterwards. So what they were worried about before that 9 hour, like we haven't even scratched the surface on, I think. I've been a longtime sub and fan, Vinny, to both your channel and Court TV and appreciate your content, usually. I really liked your coverage on Jennifer Soto. I'm a Grizzly and have seen Jalessa, oh, sorry, I don't know how to say it, but Grizzly, on your show several times. I'm also a former gem and have watched Lauren on your show before. I think true crime fans love mystery, love justice, and are truth seekers, researchers inside with victims, and hate it when bad guys get away with it. I'm telling you, Vinny, you should be doing a show on Lauren Matthias and the so-called psychologist husband, Dr. John. They're seriously sus. I know how you felt about Maddie, and so I wonder what your reaction would be to Dr. J's psychological analysis of Stephen Stern's final words at sentencing. Be careful, Vinny. Dr. John may want to adopt you next. That's in reference to Colby, the conversation about Colby. 1 second, guys. Let me play something while I pause this.
Forward. So let's go a little bit, let you know this. After I called police, and we're going to get to that in just a little bit. 3 days later, 3 days after I called police because of that vague threat, they want my head on a platter. They're going to blow this shit up. Fast forward to June, and my stalker created both a TikTok and an Instagram account solely about me, where she continues to this day to post harmful things about me in an efforts to expose me. And she uses that. They're going to expose me. She posts like every other day. It's just been going on for months. She's obsessed with me. The first TikTok about me posted on her personal page. So she started out on her art page, on her regular Instagram page. The first TikTok about me on her personal page, and later she decided to post it. She created a new page that was actually confirmed by Lindsay when she took the stand that this was created about me because she just didn't want it all on her art page. So they decided to start a separate page all about me. And the first TikTok about me posted on her personal page and later on her targeted page, so she posted it twice, is her telling her friends that I wanted to use my brother's sperm with an egg donor so that I or a surrogate could carry his baby. And before you play this, she is referring to my brother that died in March.
Okay. I feel like this was distasteful to make this TikTok. That being said, it never mentioned her name. And also, this is the first TikTok that she's showing us of Christina's, right, guys? In this 9 hour. Let's see, hold on. So an hour and 38 minutes in, and we're getting our first glimpse of her stalker's TikTok, quote unquote stalker. Interesting how she ends up jumping into the TikToks from this angle. Because yes, it was a little petty or whatever, you know, and just distasteful. That being said, how come you're not like jumping in from like part 1 that we played, you know what I mean, of like her discussing things and how everything went down, etc. It's like she purposely picks the worst one and she's like, look at this, just look at it.
My brother was in an accident. I loved him so much. My heart is broken. I was like his mother. He was born when I was 7 years old, and I loved him so much.
See, like I personally, I believe this. I feel like she is hurting here. Obviously, like I don't think that she's 100% heartless. I think she's cutthroat and other things, but like there was a tear, I do have to say. It comes down on the right side, her left one looking at us. But it's still, in my opinion, done to be like manipulation, like emotional manipulation.
And I didn't have to be covering these trials, these Daybell trials. My brother needed me, but I went because I wanted justice.
And here's the thing, like you wanted justice for the victims, so you didn't go to his bedside and you left him. Like you didn't have to do that. So here I'm wondering, like, is she crying because of the guilt? Does she feel guilty, but she's going to spin it like in a different way because she doesn't want to accept what she chose to do was wrong?
For the Daybell victims, and I cared.
It's also unfortunate that the trial that she chose to go to was the Daybell trial because it's her biggest case. It's the case that she's made the most money off of. So the fact that she wasn't there with her brother, to me, it's like, it seems like that case has really taken over your life. Like to the level that you decided to go to the trial instead. Like that's when you know that your obsession with something kind of took over and you let it, like her whole identity and whole life revolved around that case, in my opinion, for a long time.
The first Daybell trial that I ever covered, he had been in his accident just the week before. And my family rushed to his side, and he was going to invest in hidden true crime. And I knew that he would want me to cover the trial. I knew he knew how much I cared about the victims in the Daybell case.
Or did he just know that that was like your biggest story so he would understand? And maybe, I don't know. It's hard to say what he would have felt, right? But if she decides to spin it as he would have been okay with her going, then who am I to say he wouldn't have been, you know? But it's just, it's unfortunate. It's an unfortunate event in this whole mess of drama. And it's like, are you crying? Why are you crying here? Because of that or because you're trying to gain sympathy? I just don't know.
And so instead of rushing to my brother's side in 2023, I went to the Lori Vallow trial instead.
And why did you
Because
do that?
justice for JJ, Tylee, and Tammy.
Like, she doesn't back it up with, and I regret doing that because I should have gone to my brother's. You know what I mean? She backs it up with that the victims in the case needed her there. They didn't.
It was so important.
And I know that the word narcissism gets thrown out a lot, but the one thing I will say is narcissists can never accept when they're wrong or self-reflect. This would have been like an opportunity to self-respect and reflect and admit that you were wrong and going to the trials instead, but she doesn't. She doubles down on the victims needed her.
To me, and I knew that my little brother would want me there. His funeral, he died in March of this year, and his funeral was the end of March, just the week before I attended the Brandon Boudreaux trial. I was devastated. And I want everybody to know, by the way, at that Brandon Boudreaux trial, I was, the end of it, shunned by everyone. And I didn't know what was going on. And I'm fast forwarding. We'll talk about that later.
The way
My
she
brother was
just
never he was
the way she just aggressively patted her face with that tissue, didn't it remind you of Amber Heard? I swear there's a part where she like aggressively pats her face with the tissue too. That was bizarre. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. I do have to get off soon, guys, because it's sort of our Christmas Eve here at my house, because we're going away for Christmas. So Santa's coming tonight for my 4-year-old. And then Santa will come again to her Jima's house. So I've started wrapping and stuff, but I know that got stuff to continue with. Let me see if I could find that Amber Heard thing while I play this for you guys.
She wanted to talk then, which totally caught me off guard, but I thought, okay, fine, let's see what she has to say. And what unfolded next was unreal. It was like watching someone trapped in their own maze of lies, spinning stories so fast she couldn't even keep up with herself. When one lie didn't land, she'd just pivot mid-sentence into a completely different one, like no shame, just constant spinning. And at one point, she literally started mumbling under her breath, having an entire conversation by herself while I was just standing there.
Should at least done your makeup, Jody. Gosh.
Yeah, because and then, right, like, and by the way, that started, they were, like, it's, like, and I was like, would they do that to me? Like, anyway. Yeah, no, I know. So in many ways, I feel catfish, but
And then in 1 second, she snapped and was like, oh, sorry, back to you.
But back to you.
And this is the part that killed me. She told me that we had to have that conversation right now because I kept repeating, you're in fight, flight, or freeze. Probably not the best time to talk. But she said, no, we have to talk now. My assistant is, quote, always with me. I'm never alone, unquote. Girl, no. I honestly think she just didn't want her assistant finding out what she'd done. So like I said, she wanted to talk then, which totally caught me off guard. But I thought, okay, fine. Let's see what she has to say. And
I can't find that specific Amber Heard clip, but I'm sure it's out there somewhere. And if we go through some of the trial, we'll find it. Let's read some more of these comments on the Court TV segment that they had. this week with Lauren, and then go to the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial coverage, and we'll watch a little bit of the marriage counselor. The purpose of studying the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp trial periodically through these streams is to just brush up on our studies on the term defamation, and we'll be covering it if Christina decides to go for that against Lauren. How could you have that despicable woman on here after everything she has done? I normally love you, Vinny, but geez. Vinny, I'd ask Kay or Crusha Woodcock or Colby Ryan how Lauren has abused the court system to try to cover up a nasty thing she has said about victims. She is a proven plagiarist of Annie Elise. She is so unethical. Oh, here's your comment, Carolina. I know this one's going to be good. Hey, Court TV producer, what were you thinking inviting a well-known pathological liar and an abuser of the law enforcement in our judicial system as a guest on with Vinnie Politan? Trigger warning, I can't believe what I'm seeing. Investigate Lauren Matthias stat. This isn't drama, it's a crime, what she's done, breaking so many laws across 3 states. Not to mention just lying on her platform to thousands of people. It's terrible. Hold on. I see what you did here, Vinny. The parallels, coinkadink, reckless behavior, 9-hour hike, 9-hour live, self-harm ideations, psychological free falls, internal crisis, grandiose way of thinking. I wonder if your paralyzed face guests listen to the other psychotherapist guests. She could use a good psychotherapist in her life. Maybe they will hook her up behind the scenes. Oof. Lauren? Holy crap. It's like people can't believe that that's her. Why on earth would you put someone with such challenged credibility as a guest on your show? Lauren Matthias is on body cam, lying to police multiple times, and has been proven to have filed false police reports and abused the system to silence somebody's free speech. I'm questioning Court TV now. How can you stand by such behavior? Having Lauren Matthias on this is a horrible choice. She's cruel to the victims and abuses the court system. All documented and available to vet with a simple search. Do better, please. Her presence is offensive at this point. Sorry, cannot stomach Lauren Matthias. On second thought, brilliant idea. Prop up Lauren Heard, referring to her as Amber Heard. Give her a podcast shout out. Now there will be even more eyes on this unstable psycho. I will allow it. Here's your comment, Gran. Yeah, won't watch anything with Lauren Matthias on as a guest. I'll like it. Oh, let me like Carolina's comment too. Has Court TV covered Lauren's body cam footage yet? You'd get way more engagement on that. Lauren Matthias, she's not qualified to report on anything, let alone hiking. Vinny, this is disappointing. Hosting Lauren Matthias without addressing her documented conduct undermines the credibility of your platform. Her own body cam footage and court audio. Hold on, just checking chat real quick. Show repeated misuse of the court system, and her channel has amplified misinformation, emotional manipulation, and manufactured drama, most notably during the 9-hour live and follow-up videos that monetize victims' families rather than informing the public. When someone's public record raises serious questions about honesty and abuse of process, it deserves scrutiny, not a friendly spotlight. Viewers expect due diligence and context, especially from a show that positions itself as a serious and responsible, is giving an uncritical platform to a highly controversial figure isn't neutrality, it's endorsement by omission. Liar, 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 Lauren Matthias. Somebody said, is that Lauren Matthias or Jacqueline Wildenstein? I feel threatened. Oh my gosh. Somebody said she looks like Jigsaw. Now I can't unsee it. If you guys don't know who Jigsaw is, just Google it, image it. Oh wow. The comments like this, they just keep going. We'll have to just refer to this in the future too. This will be our little archive of, we'll get a good laugh out of Court TV. What are you thinking? Court TV, like I thought you had more credibility than that.
To determine that was a lie.
Come on, Vinny. Is it because she talked badly about long crime? Okay, guys. So in addition to the 9-hour,
Who's not in a coma.
we do have to, I can't hear this anymore about her brother. It's sad. I get it. It's distasteful, the TikTok. I agree. But I feel like this was just manipulation and using like the emotional aspect of her brother's death to kind of amplify that. So I just can't fall victim to it. So I have to skip it.
Unlike her, I don't believe in public shaming, and I'm not going to go send anyone to go find her because I'm not going to do to her what she did to me. And that.
When did she do public shaming and send anybody to come find Lauren?
To determine that was a lie.
That is why I'm not sharing her name. She wants you to find her. It's public. She's proud. She was very disappointed, I think, to not be on Long Crime this week. I imagine. I didn't tell Long Crime about it. Someone had to, and it wasn't me. They never reached out to me. So when the police call her, she records it. And she shares this recording on TikTok, mocking the police officer. She posted on TikTok and Instagram, mocking the police officer. Grayson is saying, give her a second. She's got a lot going on. We get it. Thank you. So as we're going to get to that later, Grayson's computer went black screen. We got to return that computer. This is true. I said to her, this computer is acting up, Grayson. I'm worried. And she goes, I'll get my second computer ready just in case. So bear with us. And I also let her know this is going to be a long live and it's going to get funky sometimes. So here we are. So we're going to get that TikTok of her mocking a police officer very soon. And then on July 12th, 2025, we're going to get all of these. I'll just share them all and then we'll show them all bit by bit. On July 12th, 2025, she begins posting clips of my voice on my targeted social media accounts. And let me be clear, when you're a okay, you got it. Yeah.
My voice. Again, was that those audio clips in the public domain? All right, guys, we're tying in the Amber Heard Johnny Depp defamation trial with our 9-hour live coverage because, frankly, it's just too much to listen to Lauren for very long. And we are going to continue our deep dive into the subject of defamation. So I'll play a little bit of this. And then we'll end the stream because I have to make cookies because Santa's coming tonight here for us. And then the Santa, of course, travels and visits the grandmother's house too. So yeah, I got to go make cookies soon. So flashback, Johnny Depp, Amber Heard defamation trial. This, I believe, is their marital therapist.
Los Angeles.
Oh yeah, she's on Zoom.
Correct.
And you practice in Los Angeles?
Yes.
For how long have you been practicing?
Invoice billing. Yes.
And 52 was the age of Johnny Depp.
Yes.
So as I understand it, on October 1st, 2015, Mr. Depp and Amber Heard came in for couples counseling for 3.5 hours.
Yes. Whether they were in for the full 3.5 or not, I don't know. But that was the amount of, that was when the session started, and they came in when they came in and not together. And it took 3.5 hours to actually do that first session.
So as I understand it, for that first session, Mr. Depp and Amber Heard did not come in together?
I don't believe that they did. The next session with Miss Heard alone for background intake, and that was a 2 1/3 hour session.
And that session was on October 6th, 2015?
Yes.
And what's the next row?
The next day.
You saw Amber on October 6th, 2015 for 2 1/3 hours, correct?
Yes.
And what is the next row indicating?
The next day, October 7th, Mr. Depp for 3.5. Again, it may not have been face-to-face for the full 3.5, but it was being at the beginning of the session, waiting for him, his coming in with the entourage and our getting to work.
And for the three sessions we just discussed, the October 1st session, the October 6th session, and the October 7th session, those were all in person with you, correct?
So yes, the first 3 sessions were all in person.
And then what does it say for the next row, for the 1014 row?
Couple, 3 hours.
So on October 14th, 2015, Amber Heard and Mr. Depp saw you for couple session?
Yes.
There's a couple session on October 14th for 3 hours, is that right?
1014, there's a couple session. On 1021, there's a couple session where someone walked out for 2 hours. On 1024, Ms. Heard was there. We did a phone session for 1.5.
And on the 1024 row, next to the 2 hours, it says W out, correct?
It's 1021.
In the 1021 row, what does it say in the 4th column?
For me, that's walk out.
And do you recall who walked out of that meeting?
I have tried to, and I don't, because each threatened and stood up. And I'm not positive who finally did the walkout.
And then what does it say? What is it indicating on the row for 1112?
Oh yeah.
Couple session showed 1.5.
It's coming. Keep It Moving says, wait till Lauren and Grayson break up. It's going to be epic, and John is probably terrified to divorce her. The hell she would put that man through. Not that he doesn't deserve it. That whole thing, it's like, are they in so deep together as a couple that they're just in this till the end? Or has all this stuff tore a wedge between them? Do you guys think? Again, some people are like, oh, don't talk about their marriage, blah, blah, blah. They put it out there for all of us to kind of see. Like, we're just going off of what you guys have shown us, even in your interviews with people on your channel. Like, I wonder if there's tension where it's like, has this driven them apart, or is it a situation where it's like brought them closer?
Hours.
And then on 1217, what does that show?
Amber alone showed 2 1/4 hours.
Based on this ledger, you saw Amber and Mr. Depp for 4 couple sessions?
That's right.
Dr. Anderson, I'm showing it's been marked as Anderson 3. And Your Honor, at this time, we're looking to move offenses to 397. I understand there's no objections.
All right. 397, no objection. Is that correct?
They didn't list objections in their exhibit list, and then we actually communicated this morning, and they said they weren't objecting.
All right. Do you know who on the team you talked with? I'm sorry. No, that's you just who.
I believe it was Jessica Myers.
Okay. All right. So no objection. All right. That's okay. 397 in evidence then. Defense 397.
And I will let you, which is CC 000172, I'll let you take a look at it. It's a one-page email. So let me know when you're finished. Do you recognize this email chain?
Yes.
Do you know who Christian Carino is?
Yes. Yeah.
On the page where it says laurel.anderson28@gmail.com, that's your email address?
Yes.
The email of March 28th, 2015 from Mr. Carino, he wrote, Laurel, my closest friend, Amber, on copy, wants to come see you alone first and then with her husband, Johnny. We'll leave it to you two to arrange a time. Love you both. You see that email? Did you receive that email from March 18th, 2015?
I did.
And you responded to Mr. Carino's email, correct?
As you can see, yes.
Yeah. What was your understanding as to why Amber Heard wanted to meet with you?
I took it at face value that Ms. Heard wanted to have a consultation. And if this is not infrequent that I might get an email like this. So, and when I hear that someone may then later want to come in with their husband or spouse, yes, I think it has to do with relationship issue.
On September 9th, 2015, you received an email from Mr. Carino, is that right?
Yes, apparently. He was trying to set it up.
And Mr. Carino was trying to set up a meeting with you and Amber and Mr. Depp, is that right?
Yes, that's what I assumed.
And you responded to Mr. Carino's email, correct?
I did.
And then at the top, you received an email from Amber Heard.
Yes.
And she wrote, "Hi, Laurel. Thank you so much for responding. I really appreciate it. I have to speak to my husband when he's done working today and make sure he's good with that time. I think it sounds perfect. Thank you so much again. I'm really looking forward to meeting you." Did I read that correctly?
Yes.
And you received that email from Amber Heard?
I did.
On September 27th, 2015, you received an email from Amber Heard, correct?
Yes.
And Amber wrote, "Hi, Laurel. Johnny and I are back in town and would love to know if you have any availability to see us this week. Please let me know. Thanks." You received that email from Amber Heard?
Yes.
And you responded that you were available on Thursday at 5:30 p.m., correct?
Yes.
And looking at the top of the email where it says Wednesday, September 30th, would you agree that the next day is Thursday, October 1st, 2015?
Yes.
Okay. And we can go back to your billing ledger, but the first time you saw Amber Heard and Mr. Depp was on October 1st, 2015. Is that right?
Yes.
Did you see Amber Heard on December 17th, 2015?
Yes, Tanya. I can't imagine. I had to turn it off after a few minutes when she went live. It felt so false and performative. Glad the truth is out. Is it edited? Jay showed the live 9-hour live is edited now. Oh, wow. Yeah, because you can go back through and edit things after you stream it. And guys, even though we've moved on to Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, keep your comments coming in. I was watching Turtle Boy, and when I looked up, he had those eyebrows. I fell out. Oh my gosh, I know. It was so funny. Every time he drew them on, I cracked up. Well, John was talking about more time with family, and Lauren wanted to record everything, including toilet visits. LOL. Are in the bunker with Grayson for Christmas as per video with Jay. I'm not sure about that, Tanya.
Yes, we had established that, yes.
977 on screen.
Dr. Anderson, I'm showing you has been marked as Anderson Exhibit 7, which is depth 3202. Take a chance, read it, and let me know when you're finished.
They edited out every time Lauren said Christina's name. Okay. That doesn't really do much. Especially if we're talking about a future defamation claim against Lauren.
Attachment 7 is at the bottom.
The reason why I say it doesn't do much, even if you redact her name, because we all know that it's about Christina. So you can protect it by redacting the name. You can blur out her TikTok, her face on her TikToks, but we all know that it's Christina.
You see a March 8th, 2016 email from Christian Carino to you, correct?
Yes.
And Christian Carino was asking if you'd be willing to make a house call to.
Okay,
Johnny
Sarah,
Depp's
I'm going to put it
downtown.
on when I put the little
I
one to
did not
bed
know where he lived.
His email says, would you be willing to make a house call to Johnny's
with headphones on, of course.
apartment downtown, correct?
Did it say downtown? Yes, it did. Okay.
And then you responded on March 8th, 2016, correct?
Yes.
And you wrote, hey, Christian, have of course avoided this my whole career unless someone was in rehab. Would be willing to try it once, and that there's something I'd like Johnny to understand, and I don't think he does. Where you wrote, I'd like Johnny to understand where you wrote, would be willing to try it once, and that there's something I'd like Johnny to understand that I don't think he does.
I agree,
What did you mean by
Martina.
that?
I can't say.
I feel like when we point out her looks at this point, it's not to be like mean. You know what I mean? Like it's a big picture of something's unwell, perhaps. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like it goes beyond like us just being petty, like pointing at her looks. It shows like a broader situation.
Exactly what it was I wanted to impart, but I know that I thought that he was having difficulty in the sessions, and I think it was something about the
Hi,
process between
Melanie.
the two of them that I was trying to clue him into.
What difficulty was Mr. Depp having in the sessions?
Having a voice.
What do you mean by that?
Yes.
Heard had a jack.
I'm glad you guys understood where I was getting at. Like it goes to her mental health, in my opinion. I absolutely agree. You love this trial, Melanie. We're going through it every Saturday night. This is part 4. We are doing a combination of this and the 9-hour because it's just too much to listen to Lauren too long. We have to break it up. So we're studying defamation. I was saying earlier, I'm doing Christmas tonight with my little one. So she thinks Santa's coming here and to grandma's house next week. So I kind of got to go and make some cookies for Santa. But I appreciate you guys all being here. Hit the like button, subscribe, and there's also an option to hype a stream or video, which is totally free as well. And it supports the channel and it gets us out into the algorithm. Next week, I will be out of town for Christmas, so we won't be able to stream. I'm hoping to stream tomorrow night and Monday night, and then I'll be off for Christmas. I won't see you guys till we get back from Christmas. But when we get back from Christmas, we're going to continue the Lauren Matthias defamation study, as well as our study in Ryan Upchurch's lawsuit regarding the Kylie Rodney case and defamation there. And then I've gotten the go-ahead from Into the Weeds podcast, to go through her Gypsy Rose videos that she's been uploading. And so we'll be covering those topics when we get back from Christmas. So tomorrow night is our weekly Chris Watts deep dive live stream. Monday night will be part 4 of our Ryan Upchurch defamation civil case review of his deposition. And then it'll be a break. Oh, thank you so much, Mabel. Appreciate that. Cookie fund. Yeah, we're going to do chocolate chip, keep it simple and classic. And I don't think I have any carrots for the reindeer, but we do have an apple. So I think we'll put out an apple tonight as well. So yeah, Chris Watts tomorrow night, Nicole Kessinger, the mistress's FBI interview we're going through, and then part 4, Ryan Upchurch Monday night. Then we'll take a break, we'll come back with Lauren Matthias and Gypsy Rose and other cases to discuss. So yes, Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy holidays to everyone. And yes, I appreciate everybody being here, and I hope to see you guys soon. And tomorrow night, if you want to join us for the Chris Watts deep dive. Bye, guys.